Hey, what is up you guys, GLISKEY here, and today we are taking on the last of the four weather types, and that is Sunny Day, or Shining Sun, or I don't know what it's called specifically, but I've always called it Sunny Day, because Sunny Day teams. As usual, we have our weather starters, our leads, megas, physical sweepers, special sweepers, and stolers. We're going to get straight into this with Sunny starters, because they are what start the sun. So with this generation of Sun and Moon, we actually have another Pokemon that has Drought, which is Torkoal, which I'll get into that later. But first, we're going to start off with Charizard Mega Y, actually, because when it becomes a Mega, as you can see here, it gets Drought, which is very good because it starts up our Sun. So you can actually fill up your Sunny starter and your Mega in one slot if you really want to. Of course, Sunny Day boosts the attack, fire type attacks by 50%, I believe, and it makes it so some abilities are better and some attacks are better. Like Fire Blast obviously does 50% more damage, so that's going to be insane when that hits. Solar Beam actually only takes one turn if the sun is up, because it's Solar Beam, it takes in the sun's energy and then beam, so instead of having to take an extra turn, the sun is so strong it can just do it in one turn. That's also really strong. Focus Blast, just type coverage, and Roost to heal yourself up. Next we have Ninetales, which was a very widely used Sunny starter, because really there was only 2 or 3 options before, two not including Groudon, 3 including Groudon. But we have it's really a kind of a Stolar set, because you have Substitute and Nasty Plot, so you can get the Substitute out and then Nasty Plot if you can. Fire Blast does heaps of damage, and Energy Ball just in case you want to lower the enemy's special defense with 10% chance. But it's also good because one of Ninetales' weaknesses is water, so if they send out water trying to take over because you're fire type and try and take you out, you have a grass type attack and it's going to be Stab. Now here's my favorite of the Sunny starters, because this is one that I use in my personal VGC team, and that's Torkoal. We have the item Charcoal, because it adds an extra 20% power to fire type attacks, and Drought causes Sunny Day, which causes an extra 50% damage, so fire type attacks are going to do an extra 70% damage. Imagine an Eruption at 150 power. 150 power, and then it's gonna get an extra 70% at max health. That's 150 power. I believe it's around 50 to 60% is when you want to switch to Heat Wave, because it does 95. Around 50 to 60% of your health, it will go about 90 power. So around halfway health, you want to switch to using Heat Wave. Again, Solar Beam only uses 1 turn instead of 2, and we have Protect, just because protecting is always good. Next up we have Groudon, which has the ability Drought, but also has the item Red Orb, which gives it the primal status, or whatever it is. It turns it into a primal Pokemon. We have Stealth Rocks for setup, Precipice Blades, I think that's how it's pronounced, but it is a very strong signature move of Groudon. Roar to switch out, and Lava Plume to take advantage of the really powerful sun out. So yeah, those are our Sunny starters. Next up we have our leads. Same as before, these are Pokemon that you can send out to set up, whether it's with Spikes, Stealth Rock, or Toxic Spikes. These can all work really well. Preferably I choose Nihilego or Klefki, just because they're good. Or even Frostlass. Frostlass can be good. It could be a good switch to, like, a good type coverage, I reckon. Kind of. It is still weak against fire, so if an enemy tries to take advantage of fire type, the Sunny Day with their fire type, Frostlass and Forretress, Ferrothorn, and Klefki are kind of at a super disadvantage, especially Ferrothorn with that double type weakness. So for this, I suggest using Nihilego, but we're going to go through them all anyway, even though these are in pretty much all of the build videos. We have Frostlass with Focus Sash to keep it alive that one extra turn, and Curse Body. It is a really fast Pokemon, as you can see here, with 350 speed. So you're going to be able to get off spikes first turn, and then they're going to get you down to, like, if it's a strong attack and they're going for stab, you still have the Focus Sash to keep you on with 1 health. You can either choose to get an extra spikes out, or you could Destiny Bond and take them out with you. Either way, it works. Fortress, Rapid Spin to get rid of the other team's setup. It's very good for counters. Stealth Rock, same as before, you put that up, it does a bit of damage to Pokemon that aren't flying. Or wait, no, it's spikes that don't get hit by flying. Stealth Rocks do hit flying types, I believe. Volt Switch, just so you can deal some damage and switch out. And Gyro Ball, just because it's a very slow Pokemon and it does more damage if it's slow. Next up we have Nihilego, which is probably the best, just because it's rock type, and rock types are good against fire types. So if the other person on the team, or on the opponent, has a fire type on their team, you can always use Nihilego to counter that. Stealth Rocks again. Toxic Spikes is very good because it can actually put down, if it puts down 2 of Toxic Spikes, it will badly poison the enemy when they switch in. It's very good because every turn the damage of the poison doubles. It goes 1/8, 2/8, half damage, or like whatever. I can't remember what it is exactly. I think it goes up by, it's not doubles every time, it goes up by 1/8 each time. So it does good. Sludge Bomb, take out grass types that are trying to take advantage of your Sunny Day as well. Power Gem for fire types trying to take advantage of it. Next up we have Ferrothorn with spikes. We already went into spikes before, but it does 3 layers damage when the enemy comes in. Gyro Ball, because it's a slow Pokemon, even slower than Fortress. It's only 40 speed. We have Leech Seed, which is very good because you can send that out and you get 1/8 of the target's HP every time. And Protect, just because it's always good to protect. Next up we have Klefki, which can actually do well on this team even if it's up against a fire type, because it does have the ability Prankster. If you give it a Focus Sash, just like that, give it a Focus Sash, you can actually go for 2 turns just like Frostlass. So you can get down 2 layers of spikes. You can, if there's a, what am I saying? Thunder Wave, paralyze the target, and Magnet Rise for 5 turns. The user is immune to ground type moves, which can also be very good. And Play Rough for a stab fairy type attack. So those are our leads. Next we have Megas. We actually have Charizard again in here, but this time Charizard X, because we went into what Y can do before, so we have X this time. First up we do have Venusaur. Venusaur has the Chlorophyll ability, which is actually very good because it doubles its speed in Sunny Day. So this Pokemon is going to go from 200 speed to 400 speed. That's a lot of speed there. Giga Drain recovers 50% of the damage dealt. It's only 75 power, but can still work. I believe, what is it? I can't remember what it is exactly. Well, we'll just leave Giga Drain in there. It's some attack got boosted to 80 power instead of like 20 or something like that, and it heals you. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll put up a text thingy saying there. But next we have Sludge Bomb for stab. Synthesis does so much health. It heals you for so much health when the sun is up. It does say heals the user by a weather dependent amount. It does a whole lot. And we have Hidden Power Fire to take advantage of the fire, or the sunny day that is up. Next we have Houndoom. Of course, Houndoom is a fire type, so naturally it's going to get stab and the boost for fire type attacks from Sunny Day. It does have the ability Flash Fire before Mega Evolving, which do fire attacks do an extra 50% damage if hit by a fire move, and a fire immunity. Ability will be Solar Power after Mega Evolving, which does, if Sunny Day is active, this Pokemon's special attack is extra 50%, but loses 1/8 max HP each turn. So this is a very good, what am I trying to say? It's very good at just insane damage, really. It's kind of a glass cannon because it will take a lot of damage, but its speed is so high that it doesn't matter. It's going to hit first. It's going to do a ton of damage with fire type attacks, especially Fire Blast. And Dark Pulse can also work because it's Dark type and stab. Will-O-Wisp for burn. Nasty Plot to raise special attack by 2. If you can get that Nasty Plot off in your first turn with Mega Evolving and survive a hit, that Fire Blast is going to do so much damage. Next up we have Charizard X, which has the ability Blaze. As Pokemon it's the same as all starter Pokemon really for Blaze, but you can go Solar Power, same as before, except this time there's no Nasty Plot. So we have Dragon Dance, raises attack and speed by 1, very good. Dragon Claw for Stab Dragon, and then Flare Blitz because its fire type does stab and it's physical, so Dragon Dance is going to boost that up as well. And then Roost for healing. Next up we have Scizor, which is very good because it is the first Pokemon on this list that actually has Morning Sun, which heals a whole lot when Sunny Day is out. So that's very good. A lot of the Pokemon here will have like Moon attacks and like Morning Sun. So those pretty much do the same thing. It's just going to boost it a whole lot. We got Swords Dance for extra attack. Bullet Punch to go first really quickly, and U-Turn to switch out. So each of those Pokemon has a different style you can go with, really. Next, we're going into our physical sweepers. So these Pokemon are our physical attackers. As you can see here, their attack is a lot higher than their special attack, so they're physical attackers. First up, we have Arcanine with a Firium Z, which is very good because Flare Blitz is insane in Sunny Day with Stab Fire. It's going to go crazy, especially with the Flare Blitz Z. I can't remember what exactly it is, but you can also go Electrium Z for that Wild Charge. We have Extreme Speed, which is very good because it's a priority move and it's 80 power, which is quite high for a priority move, and Protect, just in case you want to protect. And there's also Intimidate, which on switch in, this Pokemon lowers the attack of the adjacent opponent by 1 stage, so it's very good to knock down your opponent's physical attacker. Next up we have Marowak, which this is actually the Alola version because it's Fire Ghost. You always want to give it Thick Club because if it's a Cubone or Marowak, its attack is doubled, which right now its attack is 284. That's going to be like 500 and something. 538, I'm guessing. Or probably way more than that actually. Maybe like 358. That's just me guessing at the numbers that are there. Also has the ability Lightning Rod, so any Pokemon that has uses an electric type attack will go straight to Marowak, and it will raise its special attack by 1, which isn't very useful because it's not a special attacker, but still, in double battles, it will take away. It will take the electric type attacks from hitting whatever type you have that is weak against it. We have Shadow Bone, 20% chance to lower the target's defense by 1. And that's very good. It's very good because stab, and it's physical. So we have heaps of attack from our Thick Club, and Shadow Bone is stab, ghost. Next we have Fire Punch, which is also stab, fire, and physical. Going to do a lot there. We have Boomerang, Marowak's signature move, which hits 2 times. Which can actually be good if someone's trying to take advantage of your Sunny Day with their own fire type. Ground type is good against fire. And we also have Will-O-Wisp to get off that burn. And burn actually halves damage, halves the attack, or halves damage by physical moves from the Pokemon that is burned. Next up we have Shiftry with the Life Orb. Does an extra 30% damage but loses 1/10 of its max HP. Does have the ability Chlorophyll, which doubles its speed, which its speed is already just under 260, so that's going to go up to over 500. It's going to be a whole lot. First up, we have Knockoff, Stab, and it does an extra 50% damage if the foe is holding an item. Next, we have Leaf Storm, which is Grass Stab, but also is a special type move, but that's okay. It has high enough special attack. It is good for type coverage, and it's also stab. Sucker Punch, also stab, and is a priority type attack that if the other opponent, what am I trying to say? Is it's a priority move, so it'll go first before the opponent, but it also fails if the target isn't attacking. It's supposed to be like a cheap shot right before like they attack. So, and then we also have growth, which is raises users attack and special attack by 1 or 2 in Sun. So that's very good as well. Next up we have Katana. This one is so annoying to battle just because with Focus Sash it's not going to get taken out the first turn. Beast Boost is going to it's going to boost its highest attack stat by 1 if it attacks and KOs another Pokemon. So this Smart Strike, this move does not check accuracy. It's 70 power, but it always hits. And then with Sacred Sword, if the other Pokemon is raising their defensives, it's 90 power with 100% accuracy and ignores the target's stack changes. So say you've got something that's like a Snorlax out and it's used Belly Drum and its defense is really high, doesn't matter. This is going to be really good against Snorlaxes just because it's fighting type and stab fighting, or not stab fighting, but super effective against normal types and ignores stat changes. We also have Synthesis, so it heals with a lot of Sun out, and Leaf Blade with a high critical hit ratio and also stab. Next we have Leafeon, which has the Yachi Berry. It halves damage taken from super effective ice type attacks, single use, which is very good because grass is weak against ice. Has the ability Chlorophyll, which when Sunny Day is active, this Pokemon's speed is doubled, just like all the other ones that have Chlorophyll. We have Sword Stance to raise the user's attack by 2. Leaf Blade, critical hit ratio is very high. And Knock Off, so you can do knock off the opponent's item, which is very good, gives you a bit of advantage. And Return, which is 102 power at maximum happiness, so that's very good. Last, for the physical attackers, we have Solgaleo, the latest legendary to come out, really. It's one of the box art ones for Pokemon Sun. So we have Leftovers at the end of every turn, heals 1/16 of max HP. Full Metal Body is its ability. It's a signature ability, so only this gets it. Prevents other Pokemon from blowing this Pokemon's stat changes. So it's very good up against something like Arcanine, although it is weak because it's a Steel type. But it does have Flare Blitz, which is very strong because it has 120 power and 10% chance to burn. We also have Earthquake, which is good against fire types, and at 100 power, it's going to do a lot. We have Toxic, which badly poisons the target. It's very good for Toxicking, maybe switching out to something that can stall a bit, and you can really take out a good Pokemon like that. And then its signature ability is Sunsteel Strike. Ignores the abilities of other Pokemon. So that's going to do a whole lot. Say, I'm not exactly sure, but maybe something raises like speed or something. So like Chlorophyll, actually, I believe this should be able to just, not go before a Pokemon with Chlorophyll. So correct me if I'm wrong, that might work. Next up, we have Special Sweepers. First, we have Cherrim with a Life Orb. It's going to do an extra 30% damage, but take 1/10 health. It has Flower Gift. If the user is Cherrim and Sunny Day is active, it and allies' attacks and special defense are an extra 50%. So this is good in double battles if you have an attacker, a physical attacker or a staller. Either way, it will work. It gives your other Pokemon and this Pokemon an extra 50% of its attack and special defense. We also have Healing Wish, which when the user faints, replacement is fully healed, which is very good if you have another Pokemon that is low on health and you want to send them out next. Energy Ball, 10% chance to lower the target special defense by 1, 90 base power, very good, and its stab. We have Hidden Power Fire, taking advantage of the sunny day, and Dazzling Gleam, just because it's a good attack. Next up, we have one of my favorites that I like using with Torkoal in double battles because of its Chlorophyll ability, is Lilligant. It has Focus Sash, so it's not going to get taken out that first turn. Leaf Storm for stab. My one actually has Gracium Z, which gives it the Leaf Storm Z, and it is super powerful already because this is a 130 base power attack. We have Sleep Powder in case we want to put the enemy to sleep. It's very good. It frustrates the enemy so much, and also makes it so that Pokemon can't attack because it's sleeping. We have After You, which is good in double battles because if you have a slow Pokemon like I do, I have Torkoal, and say I want to use Heat Wave or Lava Plume or whichever attacks that Pokemon has, I can actually get it to go first because Chlorophyll doubles speed, and After You makes it so it can direct a Pokemon to go first. And then Protect, just because protecting is always nice. Next up, we have a Bomber Snow, which has a Life Orb, which is extra 30% health, 30% damage, but loses 10% health. Soundproof. This Pokemon is immune to sound-based moves, including Heal Bell, so it's very good. We don't want to use Snow Warning because that would turn it into a Snow team, and we don't really want that. Next up, we have this Pokemon actually, while it can use Synthesis and take advantage of that, it is very, very weak against fire types, so be careful when using this. We have Blizzard for stab, we have Earthquake, just because it's very good against its weaknesses. It's not very fast, but it should be able to outspeed some fire types at least. And Ice Shard for priority ice type stab move. Next up we have Noivern with choice specs, extra 50% damage, but it can only use the first move it selects over and over again until switched out. It does have the ability Infiltrator, which is very, very good against things that have Substitute because it ignores substitutes and opposing Reflect, Light Screen, Safeguard, and Mist. So it's going to just go past everything. We have Draco Meteor for stab dragon type move, but it does lower the user's special attack by 2, so I suggest only using it once and then switching out. Next we have Hurricane, which is very, very high power with 110 and stab flying, but only 70% accuracy, 30% chance to confuse the target. Can't miss in rain, however, so it's very good as a counter if the opponent is using a rain team or has a Pokemon that can start rain. Has Flamethrower to take advantage of the sunny day because 90 base power goes up quite a bit and 10% chance to burn the target. And then the user switches its held item with the target. So say if they got a physical attacker up, using Switcheroo and giving it choice specs is going to raise its special attack, but also lock it into one attack. So that's very good. Next up we have Lunala with the choice scarf. User speed is extra 50%, but only select the first move it executes. Has the ability Shadow Shield. If this Pokemon is at full HP, damage taken from attacks is halved, so it does have some survivability. Its signature move is Moongeist Beam, which is a ghost type, so it's stab and ignores the abilities of other Pokemon, just like Solgalio's. And then we have Moonlight. This is what I was talking about before. The user heals the user by a weather-dependent amount, so it's going to be a whole lot in sunny day. And Focus Blast, 10% chance to lower the target's special defense by 1. This is very good. And Ice Beam, 90 base power and 10% chance to freeze the target, just to give yourself some variety with freezing. Last but not least, for special attackers, we have Heatran, Choice Scarf, just like before, extra 50% speed, but can only select the first move it executes. And then its ability is Flash Fire, Flash Fire, not Flash Flyer. This Pokemon's fire attacks do an extra 50% damage if hit by a fire move, so it's very good. Fire Blast, going to be Stab. Flash Cannon, going to be Stab as well. Earth Power, just to take out one of its weaknesses, which is Ground type. And Dragon Pulse, just because it's good filler. And then last section is our Stolers. These are Pokemon that are going to take advantage of the sunny day and still manage to do a lot, or stay alive for a long time. First up, we have Tangrowth with Rocky Helmet. If holder is hit by a contact move, the attacker loses 1/6 of its max HP. It's very good. And we do have Tangrowth with Regenerator, but you can also switch out for Chlorophyll, which we've explained Chlorophyll before. It doubles its speed, which isn't very good, but maybe you want to change these to change its IVs and EVs to actually be very fast. But I'm going to leave that at Regenerator for now, which restores a Pokemon, restores 1/3 of its maximum HP rounded down when switched out. So if you have like an odd number, it'll round down by 1. So first up we have Sleep Powder, which puts the target to sleep, very good to frustrate the enemy and make it so they can't attack. We have Giga Drain with 75 base power and user recovers 50% of the damage dealt. Knockoff, as same as before, extra 50% damage if the enemy is holding an item. And Hidden Power Ice, just because it's good. I don't know why exactly. I can't remember. I haven't used Meganium before actually. No, not Meganium, Tangrowth. Next up is Meganium. Sorry about that. With Leftovers and Leaf Guard. If Sunny Day is active, this Pokemon cannot be statused, and Rest will fail for it. So it's going to be wide awake the whole time. We do have Aromatherapy, cures the user's party of all status conditions. So if you have something that's burned, paralyzed, poisoned, or asleep, switch out with Meganium, use Aromatherapy, it'll wipe all those away. We also have Synthesis, heals the user by a weather-dependent amount. With Sunny Day up, that's going to do a whole lot. We have Giga Drain, which just like before, 75 base power, and user recovers 50% of damage dealt. And we Dragon Tail, just for a bit of variety and type coverage. Next up with Cresselia with Rocky Helmet and Levitate, same as before. Rocky Helmet, if the holder is hit by a contact move, the attacker loses 1/6 of its max HP. And Levitate, this Pokemon is immune to ground type. And Gravity, Ingrain, Smackdown, Iron Ball, nullify it. So if you're holding any of those or any of those attacks have been used, Levitate's not going to work. We have Ice Beam, type coverage, Moonlight, heals the user by a weather-dependent amount, just like every other time. It's going to do good with Sunny Day. And Psychic, 10% chance to lower this target special defense by 1, 90 base power, and Stab, and 100 accuracy, so it's always going to hit. Its last attack is Lunar Dance. User faints, replacement is fully healed with PP, so it's got maximum HP as well. Maximum HP and maximum PP. Next up we have Umbreon, which has Leftovers at the end of every turn. Holder restores 1/16 of its max HP. Synchronize, if another Pokemon burns, poison, paralyzes Pokemon, it also gets its status, so it's very good if they have something like Meganium, not Meganium, where is it? Tangrowth, which has Sleep Powder. So its first attack is Wish. Next turn, 50% of the user's max HP is restored. It's very good if you want, if you're low on health, you use Wish, and if you don't faint, you can use Protect next turn, and you're just going to gain 50% of your health and not get hit that turn. Next we have Moonlight, which actually will do a whole lot more in Sunny Day, and with Foul Play, it's a stab attack with 95 base power, so it's going to do a lot more, and the user's target's attack stat in damage calculation, so not sure what that means exactly, but its attack is very low, so I don't know how that's going to work. Necrozma is one of the new Ultra Beasts. It has Leftovers at the end of every turn and restores 1/16 health. Prism Armor, this Pokemon receives 3/4 damage from super effective attacks, so it's very good from, I believe, Dark type attacks. You're not going to take much damage because you're Psychic type. First up we have Calm Mind, which raises the user's special attack and special defense by 1. We have Morning Sun, which is going to heal by a whole lot in Sunny Day. We have Stored Power, which if used, Iron Defense and Calm Mind, which both increase stats. Stored Power does plus 20 power for each of the user's stat boosts. So if we do Calm Mind, it will have plus 40 because special attack and special defense as 1 each. And then Iron Defense will do another plus 40, so that would end up being at 100 base power if you get Iron Defense and Calm Mind off. Next is the last Pokemon of the whole guide, and it is Slowbro. It has Leftovers and Regenerator, which is very good because when you switch out, just like Tangrowth, it restores 1/3 of its health. We have Scold, 30% chance to burn the target, and has 80 base power with Stab. It's going to do very good. Slack Off heals the user by 50% of his max HP. It's very good to use Slack Off if you're going to lose and then switch out. You can actually get a whole lot of health back. We have Toxic, badly poison target, and Fire Blast to take advantage of the Sunny Day. So that's the guide. Those are the Pokemon I suggest using. Move them around how you will. On screen now, I will have like text up saying what formats I suggest using. Personally, I suggest using the last one, which is half a rain team and then filler for the rest. So just because there's not many types here, it's mostly fire and grass types here. So maybe you can go, what I do is I have Torkoal and Lilligant, and then maybe you can have like Marowak, just to get rid of those electric type attacks and so on. So hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share it around, and subscribe if you want more builds. I believe next I will be going on to terrain builds, which pretty sure all of those builds will actually be focused on the last style, that last team format or style or whatever I've called them, which will be half teams. So you can because terrain doesn't last that long. It lasts as long as weather, but terrain is more specific to what it can do. So yeah, don't forget to like the video if you liked it. If you have any suggestions on other Pokemon that would be good for the this guide, please comment in the comment section below. Maybe someone will find them and it will help someone out. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video of mine you watch. Goodbye.